Hi, everyone. How are you? I'm going to give it some time for everyone to come in to the podcast. You are entering Encouragement on Fire's podcast Sunday nights on YouTube. So I just want you to relax or get excited, right? Because this is the place to be. Um, I'm going to have Pastor Daryl Farrar join me in a moment, but he is doing something right now, so he'll eventually come in. But today, we are going to begin to talk about a couple of things. First, before we get into our topic of today, I wanted to just welcome, first of all, our YouTube audience. Yes, I thank everyone. This is podcast number 22. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining us every Sunday at 8 p.m. and then others that come after that. God bless you. I want to say that I just found out through YouTube, actually it was on there and I didn't see it, it was on there for some time, that they said we went beyond our 100 hours of viewing time. And so I know many of you out there, you may have like thousands of hours of viewing time, but remember we just started weeks ago, 22 weeks ago. And so for me, I see that as an accomplishment. I see that as that some people who need to hear, some encouragement. You need to be in this space that you're listening. And I am just so grateful. So welcome, 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 and continue to come back. Continue to be a part of the chat because that's important that we are a community of people gathering together. And if some of you send me some information and you say, can you look this up? Remember, we have a face group, a private face group. And if you say, I need you to look this up, Shirley, I will look it up and then we can talk about it in our future podcasts. But I just want to, oh my goodness, I'm excited. We're number 22 people. Just excited. So before we get into the topic, I want to say to you that we have already started. We said that this birthing, this bad experience that happened to me, the podcast is one of those things that's supposed to be a positive experience for the community. And we've already begun. Anytime we help anyone, it's always anonymous. But we just want you to know that we have already started helping people in our local community, helping them with whether food or helping them with vitamins through their cancer process, and other things we will be sharing along the way. However, like I said, it's all anonymous, but we are just so thankful. Now, if they want to come on the show and share their information, that's up to them. But other than that, we would never do that. But we just are so grateful that we're able to take all donations that are allotted for this special community project to be able to help individuals that are really going through in our local community. That's Camden County first. And then if we've helped everybody in Camden County, then we will spread the wealth and continue on. So those that continue to donate, we are very thankful. I also want to share with you today, this is one of those things, especially because we have a milestone of 100 hours. Oh my goodness. Over 100 hours on YouTube. We have a GoFundMe page. Now, this particular GoFundMe page, I just want you to know, is specifically for our cancer walk. So I told you before on housebreachrestoration.org, we've been talking about our projects that we've been doing and we've been embarking on this year. And it takes time and it takes resources. So sometimes we're going to ask for donations. Other times people are donating those resources to the organization for us to utilize to help individuals like yourself and others in the community. So our GoFundMe page, I just want you to know, I'm going to put it on our Facebook page, the private Facebook page, as well as I'm going to put the link on this particular number 20 podcast. So if anyone is interested, you'll see it in the chat information once we're completed this podcast. But it is GoFund.me/3750A40B. And like I said, I'll put it in the actual information for you to be able to get on there. But that particular GoFundMe page is to raise money for us to be able to do the Conqueror Walk. So Conqueror Walkathon. And we are pushing to do the Conqueror Walkathon this October the 1st. However, if for some reason we are unable to do it, we will be putting it off to next year. Because remember, everything has to be in order. We want things to be in excellence. Otherwise, we're not going to do it. But I will let you know. And I'm going to keep talking to you through the podcast. I'm going to keep talking to you through the different channels that we have on social media, just so then you'll know what we need to do. And I hope many of you decide to walk with us. That's what I hope. I hope you decide to walk with us. Once we acknowledge to you where our venue is going to be. That's going to happen in a couple of weeks because some things are happening. And then we're going to get out there and we're going to walk, and we're going to utilize that money that we raise, those donations, to continue to help people locally in our community who are going through cancer, and whether it's during or after, because that is so crucial that people don't understand. There's still a battle after you're off the chemo, off the radiation. There's still a process, okay? And if there's some relief we can provide, then we're going to do that. Okay, so all of the people on the House Breach Restoration Board, I just want to say thank you so much for volunteering your time. You are worth it. You all know who you are, and I just want to say thank you so much for donating your time and your ideas. Okay, all right, so today we're going to start talking about a particular food, okay? Because every time we come before you, we always want to talk about what? Balance of what? We always say church and state, right? Research and faith. We never want to separate the two. So I'm going to read to you the research, kind of get it out of the way. I don't ever want us to be going back and forth anymore. So I'm going to first read the research that we took all of our information from, and then we kind of relax and we can kind of talk about it, okay? All right, so let me go in here and gather it. A great deal of information that we're going to talk about today comes from NIH, National Institute of Health. And one of the studies is the prevention of colorectal neoplasia. That was a 30-day study that they did. Another study was from PubMed.gov, and that was on how turmeric can help in depression. So we're going to talk about that also. There's also a couple other studies that we got from Healthline, and that was, I'm going to put all these articles, of course, in the information on our private Facebook page. But I want you to know that these are actual research studies that has been done. And of course, we need to do more. That's why money has to go to many of the different nonprofits to assist them in scientific research. But we also look at our faith. Many of you out there, you're various different faiths. You know that I'm a Christian. And so we balance not just what we know, what the science has told us, but also what we believe in our faith walk. That is what got me through. So, Pastor Darrell's with me, everybody. Can you move over a little bit? There you go. There he is. Look at the man of the hour.
No, I'm not.
That's Pastor Darrell. Yay.
I'm just a Robin to your Batman.
Okay, all right. I'll take it. All right, so today we are going to talk about a particular ancient medicine that has been in various cultures, and it's not only used as a spice, but it's also used as medicine. So the larger the dosage of it, they use it as medicine. And then, if it's just, put over your food, it's used as spices. Now, I know many of you already know what I'm talking about. Yes, we're talking about turmeric today. And there are so many cultures that use turmeric. We have individuals who are from, West Indies.
India.
We have those that are Lebanese, Middle Eastern. There's various cultures that include it in their everyday, whether it's tonics, that they use, right? Because sometimes people take shots of turmeric and other spices that they mix together. And they tell you, remember, it's not a research because it's just something they've done in their families, and they take it every day. And their history of health in their families tells you, I always say it speaks the truth.
Well,
You can't go against the truth because it is what it is.
also those regions, that herb grows in that region. So
Absolutely.
why wouldn't you use the natural resource that is available to you? And so they just incorporate it in their diet. And they find there are very many health benefits to it.
Right. All right. So let's talk about some of the health benefits that it has. Okay. So we're talking about the wonderful turmeric. So what I did was I got something out of my actual cupboard. So you can see that one as turmeric right there. And remember, this is nature made, but you can get any brand that is a good brand to get. You have to do your research. Here's another one, Spring Valley.
That's a combination.
This is a combination. We're going to talk about that today. Okay, we're going to talk about that. So let's get right to that. Actually, so most nutritional food supplement. That's what this one. This is the most nutritional food supplement. And then it says it's used in India for thousands of years, like we said about the culture. What's it? How do you pronounce that, Pastor Darrell? Curcumin. Curcumin. It's curcumin. I have a curcumin. I took off the R. I got to put the R on here. But curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric. So that is why I have this one. So if you can see on here, this is 1,000 milligrams curcumin. So if you take turmeric and you want that active ingredient to come out, then what you do is you add black pepper. Okay? So anytime you do a turmeric shot or you add turmeric to your spices for your food, you always add the black pepper, and what it does is it ignites that active ingredient, and that's why it looks so yellow when you're doing it.
This is the Wonder Twin powder.
Absolutely. It's the
These two together.
The Wonder Twin. Activate.
These two right here will do some great and excessive work for your body.
Absolutely.
For inflammation.
Absolutely.
I remember going to. I'm not going to say what.
No, you don't need to.
No. What store it was? It's one. If I said, everyone would know the store.
Right.
But it's a little. It's a chain store where you just go in the store, buy things there.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the guy behind the counter, and I said, I don't forget, maybe with my back or something was acting up. I said, what can I take? And he told me, he said, off the record, he says, get yourself some turmeric.
Yeah.
That's what he told me. Get yourself some turmeric. He says, our culture, we don't take nothing else but that. We don't take all this, all this anti-inflammatory medicine, and we don't do that. He says, we take turmeric in capsule form, in tea form, and we sprinkle it on our food.
Well, since all of this has happened to me, that's what I've been doing. I've been putting it on my eggs, my salad. I am drinking it. Like literally, it's become part of my everyday reality. The reasons that I'm taking it is one of the reasons that it's known for, anti-inflammation. So inflammatory. So literally, it gets rid of inflammation in the body, and it's also a strong antioxidant. So we always take organic green tea, and we also talked about oolong tea. All of those are good. Yes, oolong. All of those they do both of those, strong antioxidants and also anti-inflammatory. So you want to make sure you add this to your list as we're moving forward. And I want to give a shout out to Sister Josephine. Hello, you guys. I see you on there.
So like everyone knows about what I think everyone knows about a tea that I learned about at an early age. Growing up, my mom always was into natural health.
This is not turmeric.
No. I want to show them the parallel of it. There's a herb called golden seal. Everyone took it as a natural thing to help cleanse you and bring down certain stuff. This is the equivalent to golden seal.
Oh man,
Okay.
Those people out there, old school,
they know.
This is it. Then you have to definitely get this. This has to be one of those food supplements inside of your cupboard. So make sure you're using the black pepper if you do not combine them like it does here in the actual vitamin itself. And it helps with the absorption. That's what the black pepper does. So also, let me see. It's anti-inflammatory and it fights foreign invaders in the body. It has a role in repairing damage in your body. So let's look at someone who is sick. Okay, so think of yourself right now. If you're still going through some things, I was going through cancer. If you're out there going through cancer, you want to stop it in its tracks. You want to say, no. You're not going to do this. You're not going to affect my body anymore. So we talked about olive oil is one of those really good ones to add to your diet. Turmeric is another. You need to add this to your diet simply because you want to stop the inflammation. Now, remember, I told you guys last week, my doctor told me, my oncologist told me, you should be taking turmeric twice a day, Shirley, and you should be taking a B vitamin once a day.
So flooding your body with all this.
Right, and he already knew I was taking the oolong tea, all these other things. So he's telling me things that are food that can get me back on the right track. Okay, so remember, a lot of times we have this bad attitude that, oh, doctors aren't for you. That's not necessarily true. Okay, doctors are for you. I can't speak for all doctors, but they are for you. They're just practicing medicine. And so now when they see the medicine that they've given you either worked or didn't, there are other things that they will share with you and say, you should try these. When I told my doctor I wasn't taking any more medicine, see, he did offer me medicine. He said, well, Cheryl, I can give you this, this, and this. And one of them was the cortisone shot that I'm not taking. But that's another day. But then when I literally said to him, I'm not taking it, what else you got? That's when he said, well, if you want to do herbal supplements, this is what you can do. So see, they have the wisdom, the advice, but you have to tell them what you will and what you won't take. But he's also going to tell you if you're in I would say, life or death situation, he or she is going to tell you the research behind it and say,
this is what we recommend.
This is what I recommend you do right now, meaning medicine or whatever. However, you still have a choice. You always have a choice. And then that's up to you. So, like I said, if you're a faith-based person, pray about it. Let God lead you on what you should do. I chose to do both. I chose to do the medicine as well as the food supplements, the vitamins, those types.
But even in that, you had to discuss that with the doctor so it wouldn't
Absolutely.
They wouldn't counteract one another.
Because there were some things, some herbs that I was taking. He said, while you're on the chemo, you cannot take it. He wasn't trying to hurt me or any of those things. He was just saying it's not going to balance with this medicine. Once the chemo is done, you can begin taking that again. You see? So he didn't tell me not to take it. He was just saying, you have to tell your doctor everything that you're taking, and that's herbs as well, because they know herbs are powerful. So
it's the first medicine,
right?
Everything else is synthetic. You should know that,
right? So also, turmeric also helps with heart disease. We talked about cancer, metabolic syndrome.
When it slows down.
Yes, what I have been dealing with myself, right? So that's why he had told me, in order for me, because I'm trying to lose weight now, but my feet have been bothering me. But he said, in order for me to do that, you got to get that inflammation out your body. I'm working on it. So I'm hoping in there, you're working on it too, if you're in the same boat as me. And then Alzheimer's disease. Remember we talked about the olive oil being a help in that. So if you are adding olive oil to your diet, remember the virgin olive oil, organic or virgin olive, and you are adding the turmeric, it can only benefit you. And then other degenerative conditions, which olive oil and turmeric together, come on. This is what we should be adding to our diet all the time.
The body will heal itself if you give it the right things.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's see. Let me just read to you something it says on there about the curcumin. I said it right?
Yep.
All right. I'm getting better. It can jumpstart brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Before scientists had a better understanding of neurons, it was believed that they weren't able to divide and multiply after early childhood. However, they now know that isn't the case. So, if you're thinking about, your brain is not working anymore. Now, remember, this came out of the research. Remember, I said this is not me saying this. This is the research, and I'm going to put it in the chat, and I'm going to put it on our private Facebook page. The research is saying it can recover. Yes, the neurons in there, you guys. It can jumpstart that brain again. And, many of those items that we hear on television, we're not going to talk about those. And they keep saying, take this.
And there's medication that they have.
Right. Medication that they're saying, take this. And now your brain is going to work better and you're going to have better memory.
That's the natural.
This is it.
That's the natural stuff.
The natural.
The other thing is the synthetic.
This is the natural. So this is going to help. I'm not saying it's going to cure you. I'm saying it's going to assist you in your process. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're using everything you possibly can. And you want to use this to get rid of heart disease. Now, I don't have the study in front of me, but we all know, because we go to the doctor and he tells at least the African Americans that heart disease is one of the big things for our people, okay? If you're out there and you have heart disease right now, you've either had a heart attack or that your arteries are clogged or something's just not right. Then remember we said, don't just keep taking medicine. Medicine is good, okay, for temporary. Even herbs. You don't want to constantly be using a herb concentrated. Like, remember we said you want to use this as medicine, you up the dosage. And I'm not going to tell you what the dosage is. This is something you're going to have to study for yourself, okay? Because I don't want you to come back saying, you told me. No, I did not. I'm saying to you, I need you to read the research that we're putting in the chats. I need you to read the research that's available to you, and you need to increase it based on what the research says. And then when you're doing that, remember, that's the medicine version. But then you're supposed to go back to the regular spice version, because what is it? A preventive. You add it to your everyday, salads and diet and those things, because then you're not using it as a medicine. Remember what the doctor said? No, this is just as potent. Okay? So you have to be careful. So if anyone's out there and you keep using it in high dosages as medicine, that may not be beneficial for you. Okay. All right. So let's keep on moving because our time is flying by. Oh my goodness. So I want to read to you one of the studies that I came about. It says this particular study that was done in the National Institute of Health. It says in a 30-day study in 44 men with lesions in the colon that sometimes were cancerous, they took 4 grams of curcumin per day, and it reduced the number of lesions by 40%. I want y'all sit on that for right now, okay? So even if you don't believe in science, what are you telling those men that went through that process?
The data proves
out. The data proves out. That's all research is supposed to do. Now, they're not trying to dispute that some of the things that we've been using over the years doesn't work. They'll even tell you, perhaps it does for you. But overall, in a longitudinal study, it may not have weight in research. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. And if we see in cultures it has worked for years, then you have to at least put some stock in that. Okay? But I like when they put the research, and now I can say, wow, that does work. And I'm going to move forward in that. Also, there is another study, and this particular one was done by PubMed.gov. I tried to get you guys the PDF. Remember, I like to put the PDFs in there. So you go on there and you can read the whole article. I could not get it. So what you're going to have to do is, if you have access to a library, when I put the link on there, you may have to pay for it if you want it. Or maybe you have access to your library. Many of you work for school districts and things you do, and you get it free. Okay? And if somebody else can get it free for you, please put it on the Facebook page. All right, let me see. This one, in a controlled trial, 60 people with depression were randomized into 3 groups. They put them into 3 groups. One group took Prozac, another group took 1 gram of curcumin, and the third group took both Prozac and curcumin.
So it was a blind study.
It was a blind study.
They didn't know what they're taking.
They didn't know what they were taking. After 6 weeks, now y'all thought I was going to say a year, didn't you? After 6 weeks, the curcumin had led to improvements similar to those of the Prozac. So see, the Prozac did work, but so did the natural substance that doesn't hurt your body. And it doesn't have a lot of the side effects that the medicine does. The group that took both the Prozac and the curcumin, they fared the best of them. So see how the science or the doctors, what they did was they balanced it out and they used both because they had good results from them. So I know there's a lot of people, especially right now, you're going through a lot of depression. Now, we're not going to speak to depression because we're not board certified counselors, right? We counsel people, we're not board certified counselors to treat depression. But what I'm saying to you is talk to your doctor. If you know, okay, I'm on all of these different medications, have you ever considered herbal supplements with the medications? You see? Because evidently the studies are showing that there's good results in that, and you want to make sure that over time, the medications that you're on, that the side effects, minimal as possible, because you want to have a long life and you want to be healthy. Okay, you want as long as possible. I know people say, well, you get older and you expect the body to no. You do not have to accept that. I'm a faith-based person and you do not have to accept that. Okay, and I know you guys are saying, well, your feet are hurting right now. Shirley, you just told us. Yeah, they are. And every day I pray about my feet. I pray about my body. And you know what? It's unacceptable. I plan on being healthy and living a healthy life. And every day I'm going to be, if I'm challenged, I'm going to move forward in either food supplements, vitamin supplements, other things that are going to be natural for my body. And I'm going to do this. You know how you just put your mind to it and say, I'm going to do this. And I'm encouraging you out there. If you're sitting there and you're in pain and you've been on a lot of medications and different things, begin talking to your doctor about some herbal supplements. They want to talk to you about it. That's the thing. But you have to bring up that conversation because their whole purpose is the medication, because that's what they go to school for. But they know about herbs. Okay. All right. So let's keep it moving. We got a few more, literally like 3 minutes to go. So let's keep going. All right. So also curcumin, guess what it does? Ladies and men, because I know it's just important to you. It fights aging. Woohoo! No, right? So we're sitting up there and we're like, remember we talked about the olive oil? If you add olive oil into your regimen, facial, yeah, right? It's supposed to help, not directly on there because some people get irritated, but the olive oil helps. Guess what else helps? Yes,
internally.
Internally, this will help you. And chronic diseases, it helps you to look better, to feel better, right? Isn't that awesome? Yes. All right. So let me see. Also, one of the things, and we're going to end after this, me and Pastor Darrell were talking, and he said, find the research about this. And I said, well, wait, it's really hard to find the research about this, but he said, try to find it anyway. I'm not going to go in detail about it, but we're going to put it on the chat and the website.
We got 2 minutes.
We got 2 minutes, exactly. So we're just going to basically talk about it. So we did a study, or excuse me, we didn't do the study. They did a study. And this one was academic.oup.com. And another one was ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. Same people. And they did a study, Indian, Asian population or cultures, as well as Asians versus Blacks, Filipinos. We wanted to know, is there a difference of individuals getting cancer, right, in certain communities?
Because of their ethnicity?
Right, because
or regions.
Is everyone getting cancer? Because remember, we said there's certain cultures that this is part of their diet. So are they still getting cancer like Americans, with our special diets or crazy diets that we have eaten everything?
Mhm.
Is it the same? Well, I'm going to put the research on this so you can look for yourself. However, what we surmised was this. Indian Asian, okay? Their cancers are more oral,
Esophagus.
the esophagus, and the cervix.
Mm.
So think about it, not lungs, or excuse me, not the major lungs, because it's still the esophagus area.
Right.
But that's what theirs is from? Smoking.
Mhm.
So imagine if they stop smoking.
Their rates would go down.
Their rates would go down even more. Isn't that crazy? And then, so what was the other one? Oh, the Middle Eastern. Their cancer also linked to smoking.
Mhm.
So you have cultures that are consuming curcumin, turmeric, olive oil, and their cancers are only related to something else that they're doing.
Right.
It's not related to, well, I'm just a good, healthy person and I happen to get cancer. No. Where the rest of us, I have never smoked. Isn't that crazy? I've never smoked, but yet I got cancer. So perhaps if I had the turmeric all this time in my diet, I'm just saying, you never know. The curcumin, making sure I'm taking the olive oil, all those things, perhaps that wouldn't have happened to me. I don't know. But I know one thing, forevermore, these items will be in my diet.
I think every region, every ethnicity, every area has its own way of eating. And because it has its own way of eating, it also has its own way of how it relates to stuff. And their culture says, hey, let's do this. And whatever your region or area or your ethnicity says to do, you relate to it and you become a part of it. And so overindulgence in something creates some type of disease.
Right. Well, we are at the end. We went over a couple of minutes, but next week we're going to talk about another food. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I will release it sometime this week or on the day of our next podcast. But I just want to say thanks to everyone for continually watching. Encouragement on Fire. If you are in need, continue watching. If you know someone else, share with them. Sit down, have a conversation about what they have in their cupboard. Okay? All right. I am Shirley Farrar with Pastor Daryl Farrar, and this is Encouragement on Fire. We'll see you next Sunday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Talk to you soon.